Shay, and this is a metaphysical class brought to you by Mirror Moments with Tia Deshay, and this class is entitled Karma and Black Magic. And the inspiration behind this class was from a video that I was listening to today. Today is Monday, March 6, 2023. It is 11:06 a.m. And this class was inspired by a video that I was listening to today about Saturn in Pisces. Saturn is going to be in the planet Pisces, or governing, not the planet Pisces, but Saturn is going to be governing Pisces, the astrological sign Pisces. Is going to be in Pisces for the next 3 years. So I've been watching videos about it because my Pisces is in Jupiter, or Jupiter is in in my astrological chart. My Pisces is in Jupiter. So I wanted to see how that Saturn being in Pisces is going to affect me for the next 3 years. So in the video, the woman was saying about karma, and it inspired me to do this class for today. So when we talk about black magic, and also because black magic is just like this topic, every time, I click on a tarot card reading, it's for in some way, shape, or form, it always leads back to magic, black magic. Oh, people are doing black magic on you. They're doing spells on you. And I've done several videos here on YouTube and on my app, my app, Mirrored Moments, about black magic. So go back to the metaphysical classes category here on YouTube and find the classes that I did on black magic and curses and hexes. And also you can download my app, Mirrored Moments, and find the messages that I did about black magic on there. So, it's just black magic this, black magic that. And so she was talking about karma, and she was talking about how karma, we actually create our own karma. Like, I knew that, but the way she explained it, it gave me a different perspective of it as it relates to black magic, because I do black magic, black and white magic, if that's how you want to label it. And I'll label it that just for the sake of the context of this class. So the way basically she was like, we create our own karma. So let me go to the next slide. There are two types of karma. The karma that comes from your past lives that you bring into this current existence, and then there's self-imposed created karma. Now, the karma that we come with in this state of existence while we're here on the planet Earth, that came from past lives. And there are ways that we can absolve that karma. We can say prayers. We can actually do physical cleansings, spiritual cleansings to absolve the karma. We can work with our ancestors and certain deities and have altars in our home and light candles and do certain rituals to absolve our karma. We can burn ancestor money to absolve our karma. There are a plethora of ways, depending on your beliefs, your indigenous beliefs, in which we can absolve the karma that we came here with. And then there's the self-imposed created karma that we create. And that karma is created based on what we perceive to be right or wrong. Okay? So that's why, and she gave a good example. That's why we can see, we have witnessed certain people, and everybody has. We have witnessed certain people who we look at them and we say, oh, they're just doing wrong. They're doing wrong, and they always seem to get over. and nothing ever seems to happen to them. Well, that's because they have created what is right and wrong in their world. So what they're doing isn't wrong. So there's no karma for that. There's no punishment for that, because that's how we see karma, as punishment. And it's really not punishment. It's just you reap what you sow. It's just the law of attraction. It's just the law of reciprocity. It's just the mirror reflecting back to you. It's not really punishment. Karma is not punishment. And even I'm going to have to change my mindset about that. Karma is not punishment. Karma is just receiving what you put out there. So if we look at a certain person and it always seems as if they're getting over, that they're doing all these wrong things and nothing is happening to them, that's because to them, they created their karma, their cause and effect. If I do this, nothing quote unquote bad is going to happen to me, or the bad that we think should happen to them. And so that's why they continue to do it, because they haven't adopted the belief that we have. If I do X, then Y is not going to happen to me, because that's not what I said is going to happen to me. I'm not going to have a punishment or a result of this happening to me. Now, when we engage in black magic, that's when we impose our karma on that person. Because in our mind, we're saying, oh no, if you cause me to lose out on sleep or money, and you're disrupting the harmony. I put it that way. If you're disrupting the harmony in my life, whatever the harmony is for you, you have created a definition for harmony for you. And the person has come in and disrupted that. They have brought in imbalance. You have created a definition of balance for you, and they've come in and disrupted that balance. And then you engage in black magic. Then that's you imposing your karma, your definition of karma on them, what they should receive, because they came in and disrupted your harmony and your balance. But before you came along, they more than likely they encountered people where their behavior towards those people didn't disrupt those people's harmony or didn't cause them imbalance. So that's why it appeared as if they were continuously getting away with it. Because for those people, what they were doing, what that particular person did to you, and they did it to the other people, it wasn't disrupting anything in their life. So it was no need for them to experience karma or cause and effect or punishment. That's why it looked to you as if they were just getting away with it. And it helped me, just saying that, it helped make sense of a lot of things that happened in my life in the past 2 years. Like, it makes sense now, because it appeared as if, oh, this person is just getting away with this and no one, is putting them in check. That's because it wasn't disrupting the harmony and balance of their life. But because whatever their definition of balance and harmony was, what this person was doing was not disrupting it. But because I had a different definition of balance and harmony, then this person was disrupting it. So then I had to engage in the left hand of conjuring. I had to engage in quote unquote black magic to restore the balance and harmony in my life. And so when she explained it like that, that's why, we look at people and we think that they're doing all of these quote unquote bad things and getting away with it. Well, because they have established their karma, or what they think karma is, what they think they should get rewarded for, and what they think they shouldn't get rewarded for. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, when she said it and I thought about everything that was happening that had happened in my life, I was like, that makes sense now. It's because I had a different standard and expectation for my life, what I considered harmony, what I consider balance, than other people. And so this also helps with, if you're feeling guilty or you think that, oh my God, I'm going to go to hell and this is going to come back to me 3 times 3 because I'm doing black magic. Well, that's because that's what you believe. If you believe it's going to come back to you 3 times 3 because you quote unquote unjustly did black magic, then that's what's going to happen to you. You're creating your karma. I don't believe that. I don't believe when I engage in black magic that it's going to come back to me 3 times 3. Now, I do believe that we are all connected, and what I do to one, I'm doing it to myself. But I also have a different perspective of black magic than most people, because I understand what I'm targeting when I'm doing black magic. Go back to my metaphysical courses on YouTube and look for my black magic curses and hexing videos to understand what I'm talking about. So it's about what you believe. So if you believe like the lady gave an example about how she grew up in a religious household. She went to church every Sunday and she was buying tarot cards. And she thought that anything bad that happened to her was because she had bought tarot cards. And so if something bad happened to her, she would then go throw the tarot cards away. Then she said she got sick, and she thought that because she had tarot cards in the house, and that's what religion had taught her, is the reason why she got sick. Well, the reason she got sick had nothing to do with the tarot cards. She had an imbalance in her body that was causing her to become ill. But you see how she thought, how she was creating her own karma, thinking, oh, because I have these tarot cards in my house and it goes against my religious upbringing, then something bad is going to happen to me. Well, that's exactly what happened. Her mind just fulfilled what she thought, but it had nothing to do with the tarot cards. Once she really came to herself, her divine self, and she realized, oh no, this has nothing to do with tarot cards, and that I am the creator of my life and I'm creating this. So that's how karma is imposed, imposed in black magic. That's why I can say I am your karma. I am your karma. Because now you've encountered a person who has a different expectation in life. And so now I'm going to engage, with whoever I engage with, whatever deity, whatever working, and now I'm going to impose karma on you. And that's why the person becomes uneasy when they're around you. That's why it can, quote unquote, get worse before it can get better, because you're dealing with you're now in the spiritual dimension. You're now dealing with entities and powers and principalities and rulers of darkness, and all of that that's inside that person is becoming uneasy. I've explained all that in other videos on YouTube. Go watch them. So that's what it is. That's how karma is related to black magic. So you determine what karma is. And it made sense with other things in my life when I used to look at different aspects. For example, like social services, like different social service programs, things like that. And looking at it from the standpoint of, oh, that's poverty. And is it really poverty? Because poverty doesn't exist. In the divine mind, poverty does not exist. There's only abundance. But social constructs, social conditioning have us believe that things like social assistance programs is poverty. Is it really poverty, or is it just a resource? Is it just a resource? And are people who are using the resource, you know, in my mind or in other people's mind, as they're just abusing it, staying comfortable with it, not wanting more, but that's their karma, or that's how they perceive it. And that's why they're able to stay on it for either their entire life, or it's generational, because they see nothing wrong with it. They see it as a resource, that this is what it is. And so I had to tell myself, like, wait a minute, it's just a resource. I'm putting the labels on it as far as it's for poor people. I created that label because I believed what the media and society told me about it. It's just a resource. It's just a resource until another resource is available to me. That's all it is. It's just a resource. So me utilizing the programs that the social systems has in place does not mean that I'm poor. It does not mean that I'm in poverty. It just means that it's a resource. When I was in Atlanta, and I was experiencing homelessness, and it was taking me a while before I found a job. I still looked at like food stamps as that's what poor people do. I'm not poor. But it wasn't about that. It was about a resource. It was to help me until another resource opened up for me, which was employment. And it was in this way, to look at it in this way. There are people who, yes, they abuse it. They, in my mind and in other people's mind, that's all they want. They're comfortable with that. They don't want anything more. They don't want to strive for anything more. I wait on the first of the month, or the third of the month, or the 15th of the month, and I'm okay with that. And I learned to live within my means. However, you have to look at yourself. If you're making moves to, like myself, you've created your business. You're getting up every day doing something toward your business. You're creating. You're doing the work. You know that you're not going to stay in this position. You know that another resource is going to open up for you. You're just utilizing this resource for right now. Then you've created your own karma, so to speak. Like, I hope I'm explaining this correctly. It's like you're not looking at the assistance that you're receiving from social services as the end all be all, because every day you're working toward abundance, toward prosperity, and you realize this is just one avenue of abundance and prosperity. This is not going to be the end all be all for your life. That it'll be unlimited other avenues of abundance and prosperity coming to you. This is just how prosperity and abundance is manifesting in your life right now. That's different than just settling and saying, this is it, this is all I'm ever going to be. My mother was on welfare, my grandmother was on welfare, my great grandmother was on welfare. This is how it's going to be, and I'm not going to aspire to anything more. See the difference? It's a different mindset. And I had to tell myself that. And this video that I watched today helped me shift in my thinking. This is just another avenue of prosperity. It's just another avenue of abundance. It's not poverty. I'm not poor. And really, we shouldn't use the word not when it comes to affirming, but I'm abundant, I am prosperous. And this is just a way that abundance and prosperity is manifesting in my life right now. It's not the end all be all. There will be other ways in which abundance and prosperity will manifest in my life. This is just one way it's doing it right now, and I'm thankful for it. You see the difference between what I just said versus, oh, I'm just going to do this and I'm just going to sit at home all day and watch movies and not aspire to anything else. I'm not going to take no, I'm not going to work. I'm not going to go look for work, because then if I look for work, I'm not going to be able to get, these services anymore. No, it's a difference. It's a difference between acknowledging that this is just an avenue of prosperity right now open to me versus I'm just going to use this for the rest of my life and I'm not going to aspire to anything more. And I had to have that conversation with myself. I had to have that shift, and that video helped me to shift it. And that's why I'm doing this class right now, to help someone shift it. Because as long as you are doing what you feel deep in your soul that you were created to do, that you're supposed to do, this is what you believe that God told you to do, you believe that your ancestors, your deities, your spiritual council is supporting you in this endeavor, then use the resources available to you. And don't label it. Don't label it as poor. As feeling like a failure, or feeling like you're not advancing, or you're taking 2 steps back. Don't attach that to this. Think of it as an avenue of abundance and prosperity that is open to you right now, and be thankful for it, and know that it will only get bigger and better from here. That this is not forever. This is not a forever thing. It's only temporary. And you will manifest abundance in another way. And you'll keep manifesting abundance and prosperity in different ways. I hope that's making sense to you. It's making sense to me, but I hope I'm explaining it in a way in which it makes sense. But going back to the topic, karma and black magic, like, that's why we impose, or we do the left hand of conjuring, or we do quote unquote black magic. And it is because we have created in our world our definition of karma, of reaping what you sow. We have created our definition of balance and harmony. And when anything or anybody or any institution goes against that, then that's when we decide, okay, it's time to do some black magic here, so I can create and restore harmony and balance in my life. And so that's why I repeat it again. It looks like the person is doing this stuff and getting away with it. And that's because the people that they're interacting with have different definitions of balance and harmony. They have different definitions of karma. And also, when we do black magic, oftentimes, okay, not saying that the way that we direct our energy, because that's all magic is directing our energy to a specific person, place, thing, organization, event. And we see them, quote unquote, suffering, and we're like, okay, our magic worked. Really, what our magic did was just trigger and remind them of what their definition of karma is. That's what our magic did. So they were on the same page as us. For whatever reason, they acted out of character. And when we did the black magic, it just brought them to remembrance of, oh my God, I acted that way towards this person, and now this is happening to me. Because they already had associated this behavior with a punishment. It's just whatever occurred in the moment between you and that person, and they acted that way towards you, you know, because of emotion, they got blinded by emotion and acted that way towards you. And then once you do the black magic, it it came in at a time where they're no longer blinded by emotion, and they're like, oh my God, all this stuff is going wrong in my life because of what I did to that person. So your black magic just triggered that. It just reminded them of that. They had already attached a consequence to that action. But like I said, in the heat of the moment, blinded by emotion, they forgot about that consequence, um, to that behavior in the heat of the moment, blinded by emotion. And then once things settled down and they went back, quote unquote, to their life, their regular life, and then things bad started happening to them, your black magic was like, ding dong, ding dong. It was karma knocking at their door, like, oh, you remember when you did this to such and such? And then they're like, oh, that's why all this stuff is happening to me. But they had already attached that consequence to that behavior. Your black magic just triggered a memory, remembrance of it. So that's another effect or power of black magic. It will trigger the memory of the consequence of that behavior. But sometimes it seems like our magic is taking a while to take effect, because sometimes it takes a while for that person to get out of the emotion, to calm down and get back to their quote unquote regular life before they make the connection. And then all the stuff is happening to them, all this bad stuff, quote unquote, is happening to them, and then they make the connection. And you doing the black magic is just your karma towards them. They know now not to do that behavior with you again. Now, it's no guarantee that they're not going to repeat that behavior with somebody else. But you doing the black magic ensures they're not going to repeat that behavior with you. And that's all that you're really concerned with. Now, you would like for them to turn over a new leaf, do a complete 360, and not treat anybody else that way. But for the short term, they're not going to try you. They know their boundaries with you. Black magic creates boundaries with you and the other person and the target. So that's another benefit and an effect of black magic. It creates boundaries. So really your black magic is just triggering what they've all their own definition of karma. And that's pretty much, I mean, what you want anyway. Because remember, you're supposed to detach from the outcome anyway. But this is just a class to let you see some other effects of black magic, some other results of black magic. So that's how karma plays a role in black magic, and that's just how karma plays a role in our own lives. So now that you have a better understanding of karma, you can stop well, at least with me, I can shift my thinking and stop being so critical on myself, um, and thinking that I'm doing something wrong. Um, this 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 work that I'm doing, it can't be right, because if it was right, then I wouldn't be doing this, or these things wouldn't be happening to me. And it's the opposite. It is working, and these things are happening to me because of the work that I'm doing in a good way. I'm the one that can associate good and bad to everything in my life. It will only be quote unquote good or bad based on what I say it is. And this is just helping me to become more powerful in my manifestation work, and more grateful and more thankful for what is occurring in my life, and not looking at it as, oh, I'm a failure, oh, this is bad, oh, you know, this can't be spiritual. No, that's me. That's the ego. And it's time to tell the ego to get in the passenger seat, and let's look at this from a spiritual perspective and from a divine perspective. So I hope this class was helpful to you. If you would like to read for any type of resources for personal development, you can do so at my website, tiadeshay.com. You can also download my app, Mirrored Moments app. With the coming of the new year, with the spring equinox coming, I will be doing some major rehauling on my app and deleting a lot of old content. So if you want to have access to the content that's on there currently, download the app, because it won't be there for long. Also, I teach classes, metaphysical classes, on Udemy. And I give a lot of content for my prices. I was on Udemy and looking at, other courses, and I'm providing like 4 or 5 hours of content for like $20-$25. And there are some people who are providing like 2 hours of classes, of 2 hours of course content for like $20. So the amount that I am charging on Udemy for the courses that are on there are more than fair. You're receiving a lot of content for what you're paying, and it's self-paced. So if you want to take more educational courses, you can do so on Udemy, and take the classes that are listed under my name, Reverend Deandra Everhart. And remember, on Udemy, it's self-paced. So you don't have to sit there and finish the course in a certain amount of time. It is self-paced. You work at your own pace, and you go to class when it's convenient for you, or you attend class when it's convenient for you. And also, I am an author of 4 books of poetry and 2 books that deal with spirituality and metaphysics. If you go to Amazon and type in Tia Deshay in the search box, you will see a list of my books. And thank you for attending today's class. And until next time, stay blessed and stay aware.